Welcome to the Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors podcast, your home for the latest products and news in the shooting sports, hunting, and the great outdoors. And now, here are your hosts, Jake Cawthon and Jason Westmoreland.
Hey everybody, Jason, and still
Jason
Frank
here.
Baird of B&B Taxidermy.
What do you mean? It's a different episode. It's not still Frank Beard.
Well, it's from
I'm back
last
next
episode.
week, right?
Yeah.
No, this is Friday, maybe. I don't know. This is Sunday.
Someday.
It throws him off.
It's something. It all works out.
As always, brought to you by Beer.
So, I mean, here's the thing. You know who we are. You know where you are. You know the day that you're listening to this. It's a something. We're having fun. It's podcast time.
They probably don't know who we are. If they're listening to this, there's a good chance they don't know where they are. Or who they're listening to.
True.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
But it is Jake and Jason here from Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors.
The
and we
best little gun store in Texas.
blessed again to have Frank Baird from B&B Taxidermy, the premier taxidermy studio in the United States of America. And if you don't believe it, go look at their studio, go look at their artwork, go look at anything that they've done. It is incredible.
I'm not going to say this is certified by any means, but he's the
I'm gonna say
number
that
one taxidermist in the Galactic Federation.
I'm going for it.
Yeah. There's your new tagline.
And the United Federation of Planets.
There you go.
Yeah.
Someone's got to start it. Why not B&B? You know, it's like what we did. You know, we put best little gun store on a business card. If it's on a business card, it's legit.
Best little gun store take. You know, it's like the world's best coffee.
Yeah.
So who voted? I did.
Way to go. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Oh, man.
Oh, God.
It's good. So, yeah, it's another another podcast. They let us do another one, which we appreciate. The last one did not get posted on YouTube, unfortunately.
Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Technical difficulty.
Technical difficulties. But this one
Should.
hopefully
That's not plugged in.
should.
It doesn't have to be plugged in. That's just for the microphone for the Friday videos.
I'm just helping you out.
I have figured out.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Well, the hard part about this is having to learn something new, and I am slowly but surely learning video editing software, digital video editing, and I did find out, this was the hard part, how to make the audio match with their mouths.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But apparently, in the little software we use, there's a button for that.
It figures it out for you.
Shocking.
There's a button for that.
There's a button.
Oh, man.
I'm looking forward to trying to learn how to do like effects in it, like explosions and stuff.
That's not what we need. But yes, you're
Yeah.
going to do it. I know.
Try to add a little pizzazz to the video, right?
So what can we say has been going on this week at the store since we just had an episode not too long ago? We can say not too long ago we had Frank on the show.
Yep, talking about everything about taxidermy.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Realistically, learned a lot.
No, dude, appreciate it. And we learned a lot. Like it was so much more intricate and so much more detailed than I had ever anticipated.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew a lot when into taxidermy, especially because I'm taking an animal that is truly an animal, and then I'm getting something that is a really, really good example of what it was when it was alive. But like I told you in the first episode, that there's like black magic, some voodoo that happens that makes it happen. I've learned how the sausage is made in that. I'm excited. And we talked about it, between episodes here. I may get a chance to go down there and actually see it happen.
No,
Maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna
do it.
We're gonna go get involved.
I'd like to see how the birds are made. I'm a big duck hunter. I'm not much of a deer hunter.
And I will say, I don't want to take up too much time on this, but
We got all the time in the world.
bird taxidermy is one of the purest forms of taxidermy left.
Explain.
I knew it.
Yeah, that one I was like, I want details.
Because when you mount a bird, you literally skin it, flesh it, and you don't really tan a bird and mount it all in the same day.
Okay.
There's not like a haired animal. It has a very elaborate tanning process to preserve that hair. And a bird, because it's so thin and the feathers are all hollow anyways, it's not an elaborate tanning process.
How do you get the meat out between the
You will literally turn that bone inside out. I'll show you. Actually, it'd be fun to mount a bird,
Heck yeah.
not a dove.
That's all I want.
Not a dove.
You told me we could mount a dove.
No.
I want a full man limit dead mount hanging from like a paracord strap or something.
Everybody loves to mount a kitty.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah. Cougars especially.
So, Frank,
The wilder the
we're
better.
not here to talk about your taxidermy experience
Nope.
today.
We're not.
That's the last
But
episode. That's not
you
today.
are quite the adventurer, the traveler.
You are what some would call a professional hunter. You have traveled all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You have.
I've been very blessed.
And there's a trip coming up across the world.
Yep.
I'm a
we'll
little
talk
jealous
about that
about.
too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Which I would have been more than happy to accompany you, but I got a hit list, and I got one that's been eluding me.
You know, you are sticking to that goal, and I'm very. That's
We are.
I
So,
commend that. I commend that.
Yeah. 4 years in.
Yeah,
So we're really trying to kill a solid elk with a bow.
that's all I want. That's all I've wanted my
And the
whole
problem
life.
is,
Right?
we know we're going to hit an age to where, and I'm 9 years older than Jake, or 8, whatever, old enough to where I don't remember numbers, and
6 technically.
I can feel it. Man. No,
You're 45.
I wish I was 45. Appreciate you, good buddy.
Oh yeah. No, you're 7. You're 46 this year.
46.
Yeah.
So I'll be moving on to 47.
Well,
No, yesterday you turned.
Just had the birthday.
That's right. It's screwing my numbers up. You turned 39.
Yep. Anyways,
So, but to climb up a mountain and do it the way we do it, the natural way to pursue an elk with a bow in a place you don't live. Like we don't get we get
For
familiar.
flatlanders.
Yeah. And especially when we're doing it in like we were talking about the purest form, we're depending on the season, we could be doing it 11, 12,000 feet, 9,000 feet. The gradient that we could be climbing up, topo map sly.
every time.
But we've learned a lot. We've had so many wonderful experiences, and it's time to have something. It's not about the kill, but we need something to show for it real bad.
Something. Yeah, we need something to show for the effort because otherwise
Because we're not going to stop the pursuit. Not that we'd stop the pursuit.
See, that's
Well,
why.
you've put your work in.
Yeah,
And you're ready to.
You talk about the age thing. There was a fella, great guy. He's gone now, but just wonderful hunter, holder of the Weatherby Award, which is a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah. So he was wealthy.
His name was Mike Simpson, and I remember talking about him or with him. He invited me.
I knew
Couldn't
him
afford
really
it.
well.
Yeah, because it was like $60,000 hunt. I was like, ha ha, good luck. But he invited me to go Marco Polo hunting in Tajikistan.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that is.
It's in the Middle East.
Public school education.
My sister
but-
lived by there. She's number 2.
That he said it is such a tough hunt and you're so high while you're hunting that they put a doctor with you because you're technically dying while you're hunting. I was like, that sounds like fun.
I watched Jim Shockey do it, and it's a hunt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we play the videos on TV here at work all the time. Those goat hunts out of Alaska,
Oh yeah.
that looks flipped.
Man, and that's getting harder and harder to get now.
So-
A goat hunt is just tough.
Well, that was our giant gripe out of Dallas Fire Club this year. One, probably not the right place to go buy a hunt if you're poor.
Yeah, no.
But, Jason's...
There is no. He's nailed it. If you're poor.
Well, that's where I came up with the term oblivious poor. That's what I am.
Yeah.
I've made just enough money in life. I feel like I can do what I want
I'm there with you, buddy.
until I go somewhere like that and I realize that I'm technically poor. Like, I'm just oblivious to my poverty.
Back in the day when I was a kid, there was a show called Ren and Stimpy. And there was there was a conundrum. Do you want to be the littlest giant? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the giantest little? And
Let's just say we're all blessed.
we're blessed.
We're blessed.
Yeah.
So
But you're talking about that. A Jason's always wanted a brown bear in Alaska, Kodiak, with a bow.
And what did I tell you when y'all asked me that?
No,
I think you
No,
laughed.
I giggled a little
Yeah.
bit, and I said
$45,000.
$1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can have a whole nother podcast right now
Well,
if y'all want to talk about just hunting in North America.
I just thought it was
We'll
going to be
talk
like the
about this.
Winchester poster. Like I was going to be walking around a mountain, a bear was going to hop out, I was going to shoot
there.
it. And
So here's my thought.
It didn't cost me anything.
Let's say that both of us want to do this.
Sure.
What prevents me from buying a house in Alaska and just moving my residency?
Well, okay.
You live there for 6 months of the year, work remotely.
I don't know because I've honestly never talked to someone that's done that besides you, because you're the crazy person that would do that.
And if you were gone 6 months out of the year, God, that'd be nice.
Bye.
But I will say this, hunting in North America, I don't know, over the last,
Well, it's Texas too.
hunting just period.
Yeah, 100%. It's no longer the blue collar game.
No.
Which is, if
It's
you look
sad.
historically
It is
back,
sad.
You know what point I want to get to in life? Is where when I'm talking to somebody and be like, well, hunting in North America.
yeah,
So how many continents have you hunted on? You've done Africa.
Yep. Done Africa, New Zealand. I've been to, all over the U.S., Mexico.
And anything down in South America?
No, I haven't been
There's
fortunate.
not a
enough
lot
to-
of big game down
Yeah,
there.
well, there's stag and some other stuff.
but isn't stag Eastern European though?
That's
technically?
where it is kind of originated from.
Yeah.
if you want the big boys, you go to New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. Yeah.
See, for me, I want to go get some of the ducks down in South
Have
America.
you done anything in like Russia or Asia or anywhere yet?
No, I haven't been fortunate enough to do that. Now
I'm down.
I do have a buddy
He's got more
that
sense
is
than
going to where did he tell me he was going?
You ever want to kill a brown in Siberia?
that. Well, we got to hook
I'm
up.
looking for somebody to go with me. I'm down for that one. I can afford it.
I have a buddy that did that, and he said it was amazing.
we do too.
I just had a customer of ours do it, and it was relatively affordable.
Yeah, it was.
Very highly sketchy.
He got
Yeah.
interrogated a couple times.
That's what I don't know. I feel like it's gotten worse. Now with the whole Ukraine thing.
He went at the beginning of it.
But
He
here's the
did say
thing,
he
though.
got detained a few
Think this
times.
through. Just put this in your noggin. No great story
Oh.
was ever simple.
Do you want to come back or come back with a bear?
Mhm.
That's
Both.
two very different things.
It's true.
Well, I want to come back with a bear.
But I'd say
But
coming
you
back.
got to roll those dice. I mean, when you go bear hunting anywhere,
Right,
But think about
then
this.
I
You
mean,
gotta
when
look
you
at-
start talking Russia, that's a whole.
it is.
It is.
I mean, now
Yeah.
this when he went, this was.
Oh, my guy went last year.
Yeah. He went in the
Oh,
peak.
that's bold.
That's why I said he got
That's a
interrogated.
bold
Like
move.
at 3 different borders, he got pulled in and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Hey, I tell you what, I don't give a shit about politics. I'm here to kill a bear."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
But
I mean, that's an option.
It is, but it's all about.
I have kids
Dude,
that I'd like to see
that's
get
not-
older.
He's already out of the house.
But
He's
he got a
good.
Siberian brown for $13K.
Yeah, no, the buddy of mine that went,
And
it was about 3 years ago, and I
giant.
want to say he was right around that,
But
and it was
still-
a monster bear.
That's a lot of money. for
Well,
a bear.
and that's
That
just
never
your
did
trophy
anything to
fee,
you.
and then you still got to get there. You got to get it back. You
That's
got to
true.
get the bear back. You still got to get it taxidermied, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we could.
So you've hunted Canada, and have you done Alaska?
So no, I haven't. I have not been fortunate enough to go to Alaska, sadly.
That's
My dad ran a outfit out of Iliamna for 10 plus years.
What hasn't his dad done?
Yeah,
I need to talk.
Murder, maybe?
Yeah, we got
that
we
you
got-
know of.
I think we got the wrong Baird. We should have got
Probably.
Mike.
he's in the right industry to make like bones and everything just disappear.
Well, that was always the in my former life. That was we talked about Mike. That was one of my counterparts. That was his theory that Mike was actually a CIA like assassin or something. Because what better cover to be an assassin that you were traveling the world, quote unquote, hunting.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So you've been to Africa more than once?
9 times.
Good
Oh
Lord.
dear Lord!
Yeah.
You just a resident there now or what? Got a summer home?
Well, I do have we call him my South African father.
You got a summer wife? Is that a thing
No.
over there? I'm just thinking of Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have a separate bride. It's cool. She's in Africa.
All of a sudden there's a bunch of kids running around last name Baird.
Yeah. Little light skinned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, so they got 9 times. It's what keeps you going back?
You know, I tell this to everybody that goes to Africa for the first time. It is something everyone that is a serious big game hunter should experience once. And you will literally be on the plane ride back looking at your calendar and like, okay, how can we get back?
It's an absolute
it
truth
is
because every
so
customer we
addicting.
have says the exact same thing. Nobody that I know that's ever been to Africa has come back and been like,
So,
So this happened today. One of our customers came in the store. He's trying to figure out how to get a rifle to South Africa.
Sure.
Because, and I talked to him on the phone
Yeah.
about it. So his job is taken to Oman for whatever reason. And he's like, well, since I'm in the neighborhood, I'm going to go to South Africa.
within 10-hour plane ride.
Yeah, to go on a hunt. But I want to know how to ship my rifle to my PH so I can meet it because they won't let me take it to Oman before I go to South Africa after my job's done. And we kind of problem solve some of that. Maybe go hunt first and then ship it home and then
That's
go
what
to
I would
Oman.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I recommended.
That I didn't know where we were going with that, but yeah, it's no. But talking to Don about this, that he's been 3 or 4 times and he's just ravenous about.
oh, it was Don you were talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Africa has its own beauty. I mean, it really does. You just, it's very difficult to describe. What I tell people going for the first time, it looks a lot like if the Hill Country and South Texas had a baby. But then you throw
Giant
47
animals. Yeah.
different species on top
So
of that.
here's the problem that we've talked about a lot in the store is that there's a certain amount of it seems like the person that goes to Africa is a little pretentious, maybe a little, they're
We going there?
Apparently, you're going there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's the problem. The average guy like me.
they
or
don't
Jake,
seem
or
like
somebody
blue collar
has-
guys. They seem to be very wealthy, very well off, and
I think
just,
I think used to be is the
Okay.
right word.
Yeah.
I mean,
and-
I mean, I'm just a working guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I own a family-run business. Dad and I have been blessed to go over there.
number one taxidermy studio in the world.
Yep.
Your opinion,
But it's a good opinion, too.
but I will be honest.
Hashtag number one
I
in the
think
world.
I think what has happened, and I'm glad we touched on, how expensive elk hunts are and goat hunts and that kind of stuff in America. For the same amount of money that a guy can go shoot an elk, he can go to Africa, take his family, and come home with 8 or 9 animals.
That's no BS.
That's what we talked
we
about.
figured
The
that out.
entire ride home
and
from
it is
Dallas was
it is
that.
a trip of a lifetime. I mean, you will experience a whole new culture. I mean, beyond the food and everything else. I mean, it is purely a hunter's dream. It is the last. Now I say that. I mean, I think Alaska's right up there. If you are on the North American continent, Alaska is probably the closest thing that we
the
have.
final frontier
Yeah,
It's Spacer.
but
on Earth. But you're right.
Oh, man, I love messing with Frank. So everybody I know that's been to Africa too does it exactly what you just said. They take,
Yeah, I mean, I've
their
heard a lot of
family.
that.
yeah. First time I went, I was 7 years old.
My wife's not interested in hunting, but she's
Sure.
every time we talk about Africa, she's so into it. She's like, I
Yeah.
want to do a photo safari.
Yep.
And
See,
the people you've introduced us to and everything, they're like, oh yeah, like that's what we do. And then you talk about when you come in the evenings, there's a meal set for you. There's a drink
Yeah.
poured. Everybody sits around a fire, and it's there's got to be something that kind of centers you to. It's kind of the cradle of human existence is right there in that area.
well, see, my whole thing is I got 2 parts to this. One, I mean, growing up, you read stories of Hemingway and Roosevelt and
that was my jam. Under Kilimanjaro. And,
the Manager of the Savo
Yep.
and
Yep.
Death in the Tall Grass and all
Yep.
those books. You just idolize hunting the dark continent, right? But you have that image, that historic thought through it. But a guy I dog trained with, he came back 2 years ago. He's like his 4th or 5th trip. He's not a hunter. He's a photographer. That's his thing, right? And his photos of, I think he was in Zimbabwe,
yeah.
just blew
Yeah.
my mind. And it was crazy. It was crazy
Yeah.
because he's pretty well off, great guy, and he was telling the story about where they are traveling across the Serengeti. I think it's Serengeti. I think I'm in the right spot. I could be wrong.
Well, yeah.
He's somewhere.
He's in Africa.
He's in Africa, and they're going across the plains. There's all these animals, and he's got all these amazing photos. And every night they would meet up with where they're going to stay, and they have these like wall tents. They're some sort of like
it's a heavy,
like
it's
a canvas
big, thick
tent,
canvas tent,
but it's super nice.
And it's probably got a hard floor. Yeah.
Exactly. And he says, one morning we went to wake up, and I went to grab my the door flap, and a hand pulled it back down. He goes, "No, stay inside." He goes, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "Like lions." He goes, "Apparently overnight, an entire pride of lions slept in their camp."
Yep.
And the PHs are like, "Stay inside, you're fine." And he's like, "Okay."
They do that to everybody.
Probably.
There.
I don't know. I mean, I have so many stories just like that, sadly.
But the photos
I've woken up out of camp and you walk out your front door and there's 8 rhino.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, just 12 feet away.
And
it's so hard for me to comprehend. How
my buddy's name Bruce.
It blows your mind. The first time you see it, it really takes you. Most of your normal trips to Africa are 13 days, and you lose a day and a half each way for travel.
Right.
But you are in country for 10 days, and I tell people this: it takes you until about day 5 to compute exactly what you're seeing.
That you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see,
to make it real.
So my buddy's name is Bruce. I find myself every once in a while going back to Bruce's email when he was when he's there, looking at the photos, just because it looks like every National Geographic magazine I've ever been a part of. Yeah. And he's like, it's just right there. It's like you could reach out and touch it. And he goes, and he's told me several times, like you see these photos where you're they have the Land Rover with the seats in the back, and all of a sudden now there's a cheetah sitting on the hood. He goes, that shit happens. Like that's for real. That's not staged. That's not nothing. He's like, all of a sudden you got this big cat, just like, cool, this is where I'm gonna chill out. Or he's got a photo of a leopard with a gazelle in a tree. He's like, I'm sitting there. He goes, and his photos are like right here, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what type of lens you got? He goes like, I was 7 feet.
Like, doesn't really matter at that point.
I was like, oh no shit. I was like, you were.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, when you get it, like I've been to Kruger a couple of times, there in South Africa, and oh my gosh, dude! Like, have you ever seen that movie Blended?
Yeah.
Okay, so my wife watched that, of course, and the first thing she says is, "Okay, is it like that resort?" And I'm like, parts of it, yeah, kind of. I mean, they have that over there, more bougie places. I mean, obviously Adam Sandler can afford it, so
true.
But the wildlife is exactly like that. I mean, you'll literally just turn a corner and there's a herd of elephant, or there's a herd of giraffe, or there's a hyena that just killed an impala. I mean, it is. And see, it is nature.
And see, that's got to be.
God.
It's got to take your breath away, because I've always loved zoos. I've always loved them, and it's one thing to see those animals in an enclosure, right?
Right.
But for them just to be doing their thing, it's got to be just next level.
Yeah.
In a place where you can shoot them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Screw you, giraffe.
Well, and it's surprising. People don't talk about this either. You get to eat a ton of it, like a ton of it.
See, that's where I'd be at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the other side of this, and I'm going to pitch this to the antis and everything, that's the purists of, you're not bringing the meat back, and that you are the hunters of Africa, and I'm going to throw the entire continent into this. That is the lifeblood of that economic system.
I can see that.
I mean, I'm not going to go 100%. I'm not going to agree with you, because since 1994, I've been sending the price of a cup of coffee every day.
I was like, holy I thought we were going to have an adult conversation for just a minute.
I've been supporting this.
You're at the wrong podcast.
Destroyed that.
Keep going, because you're at 100% right. And
because you're right.
He's hitting on a point that it gets overplayed. He's actually been there. He's done this over and over again, but
when you see it is a weird. I mean, here in the U.S., the guys that go, let's say, into an exotic ranch. Okay, I'm just gonna use that as an example because it's in our backyard.
Yeah,
it's in our backyard.
No.
You go shoot whatever an axis deer, and it's X amount of dollars, but you're staying in a 5-star lodge. You're riding around in a $50,000 hunting truck, and the ranch owner pulls up and he's in his $150,000 ride.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You understand
you're facilitating that.
You are facilitating that. You get that. But you take it to a completely different level when you literally I've been dove hunting over there, and I've been in the field of this massive sunflower field, and I'm talking hundreds and thousands of acres. Okay. And there ain't a soul around except the other 6 guys that I'm with in the PH. And all of a sudden, 6, 8-year-old kids walk up and they're holding trash bags, and they look at you dead in the face with the most sincere seriousness. And they said, "Sir, do you mind if we pick up the birds you shoot to eat?" And I looked at all of them and I said, "You sit right here. I'm about to load all them bags up, buddy."
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's funny you say that because I was watching it was this morning after I was done working out. I was waiting on my watch to be done, and I was looking at Instagram reels, right? And it was it compared 2 groups of kids, right? Obviously, probably American kids. What would you want? And they talk about like, I want $1 billion. I want to be famous. I want this. It's all materialistic.
Sure.
And then it went to, I don't know where the kids are from, but they're probably like Middle Eastern or something like that. Sure. It looked very war-torn country, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I'd like to see my mom again. I'd like to try sugar for the first time.
Yeah.
I want to eat bread. I want to see my brother. He's dead, but right, like I'd like to see my brother again one day. It was a complete dichotomy of it. I think you're right, though. We don't comprehend from our vantage point the dichotomy that happens there.
Well, we are truly blessed. I don't mean to say that to downgrade any high fence hunting or anything like that. I mean, we are truly the greatest country in the world.
No, but
there's a difference.
You
across
struck on
the
it
board.
pretty hard, and I mean, there's a bunch of naysayers that when it comes to Africa, why are you going to another country and going in and intruding and killing the native species and everything else that have not been there and don't understand that you are the number one in a lot of countries. You're the number one supporter of their economy. If you back out and you're not there,
it craters.
And we're talking about countries that are on the verge of cratering every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about this though, right? There's a lot of people, and we've had them through here, and I know several of them that. Well, how could you kill this animal? And it's always the cute ones, the giraffes, the elephants, the whatever.
Right.
You can't eat an elephant. Well, one, you have to control. Harvesting is
Population.
a natural. It helps balance the herd. You get the old ones out, the sick ones out, the whatever. But what does the elephant weigh? 4,000 pounds?
Oh, at least
some crazy number.
Some crazy number.
Do you know how many folks that will feed in that area for a while that would not have that outside of somebody coming in and donating the meat out?
I surprisingly do. It is the last elephant that I was part of that was harvested. There was 137 people that ate off of that animal for a month.
Good Lord.
And these are people that if they didn't have those mills,
wouldn't have it.
Oh, they didn't have nothing. Like I'm talking,
we're talking about
barefooted people that
we're talking
walked
about
up there.
starving to death.
Oh yeah.
Like you're helping sustain them. So,
But it's not only that too. Like let's just move beyond the feeding part of it. Like a lot of these ranches over there, whether it's Namibia or South Africa or Zimbabwe, they build a community around hunting. And what I mean by that is it is literally a town within this ranch. They have a school system, they have housing, and the wives do the laundry, the cleaning, the cooking, the gardening.
You got to include everybody, right? The trackers.
It's all of it.
Everybody.
So those are the ones I'm most intrigued about.
That, yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Dude.
So the funnest time I've ever had in my entire life was on a Cape buffalo hunt. And I wasn't shooting or anything like that. I was just part of the hunt. And I went for 4 days with 3 5'9" Bushman trackers.
You kept up with them?
Yeah. Well, I was like 22 years old.
Oh,
okay, so let's just throw that out there. But those guys taught me more about tracking than I will learn in a lifetime.
Really?
They would literally see a blade of grass. Now, granted, we're tracking Cape buffalo, so not a small animal.
Yeah.
But they would. I mean, I'm looking at all these different tracks and hoof prints and everything, and they're like, "Oh, that's impalas, that's kudus, that's this," you know.
But they'll pick up like a broken blade of grass.
Oh,
and be
yeah.
like, oh, this is a male. He is of trophy size. He was here. And lick it and be like, 37 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Well, not to that extent, but his dad has a gentleman down already, a family friend, I guess, forever.
Yep.
What's it?
John Kelly.
John Kelly.
yeah, he came in here the other
John
day.
Kelly was telling me a story the other day. I was like, "Hey, what's your wildest thing about trackers or any of that?" He's like, "Once we followed a leopard for a wounded leopard for 9 days.
Yeah.
My trackers followed a wounded leopard, a cat.
9 days.
First of all, a cat doesn't want to be found.
No.
Cat's soft-footed. Cat's gonna try to avoid.
Yep.
For 9 days.
That's
Yeah, incredible.
And I'd like to hunt a leopard just because one, they're gorgeous. And they
I'd
make
like
a
to-
cool mount,
Yeah.
right?
I'd like for you to be hunted by a leopard.
I've been hunted by worse. But
Cougars.
that we went to a dinner party a couple years ago, and it was two PHs that were in from Africa for Dallas Safari
yeah.
Club.
Right.
They're the Dons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were asking like, "Hey, what's the hardest thing? Like, what's the worst thing to hunt?" Right?
yeah.
We're trying to get some stories like what's
Yeah.
wild, that whole thing.
Sure.
Like you've got Cape buffaloes, the Black Death, right?
Yep.
They're like, eh. And they're like, what about a lion? Right? It's a freaking lion. They're like, eh. The lion. He goes, a lion. If they attack, they're gonna get one. It's
One.
fine.
Yeah.
He goes, you know who to be worried about? He goes, the leopard.
If you don't kill
He
it,
goes, the leopard will get
smoking
everybody. And he goes, and I was like, really? He was like, yeah, we were hunting last year, and one of my hunters shot a leopard and wounded it. And we had it, I guess, brush, right? Had it in this brush, and we were like, okay, we're going to get in there and shoot it and, put it down and be ethical. And it lunged out, ripped a dude's knee off, hit 6 other people,
Yep.
and then ran in a blink of an eye.
he
Screwed
said
up 6
he
different
said
people and
it
still ran.
ping-ponged, and it did it so quick, but it
Nobody
made sure
could
to
react.
touch everybody there. And when I say touch, it
I've
wasn't
sadly heard so many.
it wasn't a
It is
friendly.
nuts,
it
man.
wasn't a friendly touch.
No.
And it touched every person
don't
there.
get
And
me
the problem
wrong.
was it's with a cat, the speed, the agility, there's chaos that's involved. And that chaos when he's running through and the ability to ping pong from person to person.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
not latching on and staying there for a minute.
Nope.
You're not going to get a shot. You're not going to do it. And then he's gone.
But here's the thing, though. Think about this. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. But chicks dig scars. There's
Wow.
but think about it. If you're going to get hurt and you got all of a sudden just raked by a mountain lion, or not mountain lion, a leopard.
So
Kinda
you're
cool.
saying you're going to take ugly and you're going to put some more ugly on top of it.
No, I'm going to put cool on top of it.
You're going to put cool on top of
yeah,
ugly?
yeah. I'm cool with it.
All right, I got you. Or
cuddly.
you can just put like a bandana on or
I will say
grow
I
a
mounted
steady
a
mustache.
I mounted a leopard last year for a guy, and he got chewed up. He it hit him, and I think there was 4 other guys, and they ended up killing the cat off of him. It was mauling him, and it the pH ended up harvesting the leopard. That guy was more proud of that leopard mount.
No shit.
Dude, I think he said he spent right at a month in some Mozambique hospital.
That's not where I want to go. by the way.
Well, that's part of it, right? I mean, if you're going to let a leopard chew on you, that's
I'm not
part
gonna
of
say the
it.
Mozambique doctors are not the best trained,
I
but
mean-
at the same time,
That's the fantasy, right?
So how did-
when you go to
Oh, he had a
Africa,
phenomenal story.
it's the like the story. You can go to YouTube right now and look, and the Cape buffaloes that like fall at the feet as they're charging
Right
in.
there.
They're just
I've
right
seen
there.
that. Yeah, that's
or
nuts.
there's
Real
one out
question.
there going around that.
did you get a mannequin that looked like him and just a leopard just mauling him? Because that's how I'd have to get him mounted.
he did do it aggressive, but
I
dude,
imagine that
we-
was his memory of it.
dude, he
He got PTSD every time he walks in, he just cries.
I mean, he was like, I want it snarling, mad.
Yeah,
And
that's how I remember him.
I never forget. Like I did the face. I set the face, on the cat, and I was like, "You gotta come look at this thing." And he came over there, and he was like, "Dude, you nailed it." He
Nice.
goes, I mean, he kind of
He got
twitched
all-
a little bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get close to it no more.
He was
Is
so
he all,
proud
like,
of that.
all scarred up and stuff from it?
So it actually, he had a couple scars on his chest, but it mainly grabbed him from the hindquarter. It bit him on the hindquarter, and that was why he spent so long in the hospital, because they had to put, I guess a lot of bacteria and stuff like
I
that.
put his ass back together.
It was on his, like, kind of his side of his thigh.
But you want to talk
But
about
he-
a pickup line. Hey, you want to see where the leopard bit me? Dude, what?
But I don't want people thinking that every trip to Africa is like that. That's not.
No.
That's
No,
That's
a
few
leopard-
and
a leopard's
that's
the
few and far in
outlier.
between.
and
We're
from
kind of
what-
getting off subject.
From what I understand, there's different, just like here in the U.S.,
Sure,
there's different skill level hunts you're going on.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
like us when
Yeah, I wouldn't
there's-
start out going like, "Oh, I'm going to kill a lion or a leopard or even a Cape buffalo." I mean, you need to be a seasoned shot and hunter for those. And another thing I would say, and a lot of people make
no
this
elephant with a bow.
no, no. And another thing that people think when they go on their first big dangerous game hunt, they're like, "Oh, I got to get a double rifle." That is a massive mistake, because
fun.
you would
Especially
not.
if you haven't trained with
You're
one
kid-
your whole life.
You're
Dude,
killing
if
my-
you ain't, if I know,
Dude, I want
I'm
to get
sorry.
like that shooting jacket. I want to be Ernest Hemingway or
I'll
Teddy
take no,
Roosevelt.
and I'm telling you
You ever
what,
watch
if
Ghost in
if
the
you
Darkness? You know
if
you're
you
gonna rise.
train with
That's a
it,
good movie.
if
by the
you
way.
But know
train
your
with
rifle.
it, and I'll tell you what, John will tell you this too.
Yeah,
And John Kelly's been a PH in Africa for
Get a Holland
almost 50
500
years.
nitro.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But the problem is most American shooters are not used to a double rifle. Period.
Yeah.
And if you don't spend the time and like really dial in
different.
your gun and know how to use it and know at different ranges really quickly how to use it, you're going to run into some
But if
problems.
you're an elk hunter
I-
who's smoked, knows their 300 Win Mag inside and out, it'd probably be smarter to go that direction.
See,
For
the
sure.
problem is I'd have to cosplay my whole way through there like a turn of the century British like colonialist. I'd have like that little like, I don't know what it's called, but the pipe that kind of rolls down.
You'll look like the
shooting
dude
jacket.
from
It'd be like,
Jumanji.
I'd be a whole
Yeah,
bunch of be like,
yes.
yes, like the hunter from Jumanji.
Just grow the handlebar mustache.
Exactly. Oh, I'd be walking around and be like, indubitably. I'd have to.
Yeah. Oh, but
God, we've gotten
so for
far
everybody
from
who's
that.
listening to this and you're hearing, just to put it into context, and I know we touched on it earlier. So where Jake and I and Frank is leading us to, we've been pricing out, like we want to hunt. We've got the elk we want to hunt. We do hunt elk and everything, but we know how much money we spend on elk every year. We know how much money we spend on a deer lease.
Big money.
And everything. And it's a big amount. Don't get me wrong. But for about $10,000, you can go
kill
to
a ton.
Africa and kill probably 15
Well,
animals.
I mean, that wouldn't cost it would include the flight, but let's say 15 grand.
Let's go with that. That's a safe number.
Let's-
That's the number I
all in.
always start with.
Yeah.
Let's say 15 grand. And you can go over there and have the time of your life
Yep.
for a week or better and just
Waylay stuff.
wail it. And you're going to kill.
I'd just like to go to Africa.
Well, I will say this. I would never say you're going to kill, but you're going to have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's
That's-
any
that's always
hunter,
hunting, though.
any hunter, that's your goal, right? Is that
It's hunting,
opportunity.
it's not killing. Absolutely. And that's what you want. Because if you're killing, you're going to pin hunt. And that's,
Yeah.
but just, it's still to this day blows my, like,
But-
we're trying to wrap our head around it
But
still.
talking about a challenge, though, I hear you're headed to Middle Earth in about 4
Oh,
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to the
You're gonna cast the one ring back
gonna
in the
hang out
corner
Castle
right
One
there?
Ring.
Hang out with the Kiwis.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, we're going not quite down under.
Oh, you're going down under.
So,
Well, yeah.
so
I guess
the I'd have to go if you were there and it was the right time of year, because I hear it's fun. If the New Zealand Blacks are playing,
Oh,
I hear
All
it's
Blacks.
The All Blacks.
insane. All Blacks. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's what it's called, All Blacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually
I hear
met.
it's
So
insane.
Australian football is if you've never watched it,
it's rugby.
it's,
So the All Blacks are rugby.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's dude. Those dudes are something else.
They're mean.
Yeah.
They're vicious.
They're super nice guys. I actually met them one day. I was in a hotel in Auckland, and I got to meet all of them. I had breakfast with them.
Wow.
Yeah, they're about 9 feet tall. 400 pounds, just pure muscle.
Just solid muscle.
Just good gosh. Yeah.
So you're headed to New Zealand in what 4 weeks?
Yeah, 50 or 48 days.
So what's the plan there? I'm guessing red stag.
Yeah, red stag, Himalayan tar is going to be a tough hunt.
I'm
but
not real good at my geography, but I don't think the Himalayas are in New Zealand.
They are not. So there's actually fun fact about New Zealand.
Not a lot.
There's the only native animal to New Zealand is a bat and the kiwi bird.
Can you hunt the kiwi?
No.
Oh, that'd be a cool mount though.
I mean, it'd be something.
I hear they're pretty obnoxious. I watched the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do stag, tar.
The little brown bird that looks like a pear,
chamois.
right? Is that the kiwi?
Yeah, they have a
They're
real
short,
long bill.
squatty.
Yeah, they have a real long bill. It's a weird looking bird.
I'm gonna look it up.
Of course you are. It's
My-
brown, hairy.
My business partner has ADD. And,
I've noticed.
I mean, and, it's just coming to light. I'm just seeing this.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So there's a chance there could be snow, maybe not. It's
Because it is technically fall there, right?
that will be going right into the kind of beginning middle of their winter.
Oh, okay.
And we're gonna do our damnedest to try to go with you next year.
Yeah, I hope so.
The problem is we plan everything out 2 years ahead of time.
I know
so
you
we-
made Africa sound like so much fun.
You know,
he said he'd go to Africa with us.
yeah, I mean, whatever, either one.
It's gonna be his second year in a row in New Zealand. He might be ready to go back to Africa.
Yep. Either way,
Or penguins in Australia.
When somebody wins a lot-
Antarctica.
Or we go to China.
There's no penguins in Antarctica.
I guarantee you there's something we can hunt in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something we could hunt in China.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
No, it's not.
I killed the thing I love the most.
The problem is that's not on any streaming platforms right now, and I'm trying to introduce my kids to the greatness that is that movie.
Tropic Thunder has been on. I just watched it the other day.
I think it was on Hulu, wasn't it?
It is.
Not too long
I think it
ago?
is on Hulu.
Is it on
and
Hulu now?
It's so inappropriate, and I didn't realize. Like now that I got kids and everything, I'm watching. I'm like, oh, he can't watch this with me.
I'm just a guy pretending to be. I'm just a dude.
I'm
This
yeah,
guy's
I'm
a
just
dude
another
pretending to be
dude.
another dude.
no, just the opening. Booty juice.
Oh,
Like, or booty sweat. That's it.
Booty sweat.
Anyways, oh my
kids
God.
got to grow up sometime.
I guess so.
Your kid's different. My kids are like, they get it.
Yeah.
They're grown kids.
You did, my kids, he's still out. He's feral. He stays out.
feral.
He does. He stays out in the woods. Doesn't associate with other kids a lot because we live on the end of a street. And he like, hey, Dad, look. 6 years old, bringing home like a bucket full of 3 dead copperheads. Look what I did today. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, way to go.
cool.
So let's see, you got stag,
Yep.
tar,
Mhm.
and what else?
Probably chamois and fallow deer. And they
So-
also
Is chamois where we get chamois cloths from?
no.
Okay.
That's a dude that's in prison.
No, that's the
That's a ShamWow guy, isn't
It's
it?
a shame.
ShamWow.
Oh yeah, cocaine
Is it?
dude.
what?
Yeah.
No, chamois cloths spelled the same, like the
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
No, back
No,
in the day,
chamois spelled with CH.
yeah. There's just chamois cloths spelled the same. Mm-hmm. Like back in the day.
No, I
thought-
still got a chamois cloth at the house.
Yeah, they're
That's what I
great.
do the old cards with.
I'm going to say no. It's not named after that.
I'm gonna have to look this up later.
All right. So a chamois is like a kind of a cross between a goat and a deer, I guess. They have kind of a straight up backwards curl horn.
I apologize for him. He's got to need to hit buttons. He's really good at it.
Yeah.
All right, so epic. So what type of elevation are we talking?
So you'll get when you get up to the tar
Okay,
level.
I got an answer.
Yep.
Although, according to tannerselect.com,
Oh God. Super reputable right
Can
there.
Yeah.
I have another?
although
Yeah.
once made from the skins of the goat/antelope species native to European mountains called the chamois,
Yep.
chamois cloths today are made from sheepskin leather that has been tanned with marine or fish oils. That sounds legit.
So
What'd you do?
Just be happy you don't work.
So
for me.
to answer the elevation question, when you get up hunting a Himalayan tar, you'll be 15, 12,000.
No way.
So we
Yeah,
hunted.
it's up there. Most guys they honestly take a helicopter.
I would. Because we hunted 10 last year. That
'cause
sucked enough.
We had
Dude.
12 last year. We were staying at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, but
How are you training for that at all? Or is,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Cheers.
cheers. 15,000 feet is
Yeah, it's mother. It's snow-capped mountains.
Nice.
I mean, what
There's
you do
no
mainly.
vegetation, no.
I mean, well, so it depends. Certain times of the year, the tar and stuff will feed down kind of in the valleys. When they're starting to mate, they kind of get a little rambunctious, and the snow gets so bad up in the mountains and stuff, it just pushes them down.
It's kind of the same idea hunting elk and stuff in the West.
At 12,500 feet, which is the peak that we hit last year in Colorado, I was actively dying. I could feel my body decaying. Like,
You sure you're not doing that now?
No. I not to the extreme, but I'm sure I am.
Not to the degree you were then.
15,000 feet and hunting, walking up terrain.
Good Lord.
Good Lord, dude.
Yeah. That's why most guys take the helicopter.
Are you going to take the helicopter?
I'm going with a good buddy of mine.
You picked up on that.
And
He said most
no,
guys.
he did. So I'm going with a good buddy of mine, and I told him I'd give him.
You're going with Joel, right?
Who's that?
Joel? Subcheck? No. Okay, never mind.
And I told him I'd give him. We're going to try it, hoofing it for 3 days, because we got 6 full days of hunting.
So are you going to be starting at that elevation?
No, we're going to
lateral?
start. No, we're going to try and find one lower.
Okay.
We're gonna do traditional spot stalk and try and pick one out a little bit lower.
This is a guide. You have a guide with you, though, right?
Right.
Okay. So we'll kind of have an idea of kind of where they're hanging out.
Yeah, I mean they should. So the guy that we're going with, his name is Gary Herbert, and what's cool?
Which we met.
Yeah, I think you met him.
We met
I think you
Gary.
did meet him actually in Dallas.
Yeah, outstanding individual.
Yeah, phenomenal place, all that good stuff.
Wife's super cool.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, and they actually hunt a public park. I know everybody thinks, oh, a park, but they
they sound like my type of people.
Yeah. So
I say just make sure you shoot between the kids swinging.
So they have
best
one
place
of
to
the
get ducks.
only concessions that is allowed to hunt the Himalayan tar in this area. And it is purely out of a managerial, to manage the herd and keep up with numbers.
Just like we do
everything.
here in
no
the
different.
U.S. with buffalo and stuff like that. Yeah.
But no, we're gonna try and hoof it and see if we can't find a dumb one lower.
I'm not training for this at all. We're just gonna.
I'm good.
That's what I'm talking about. Just
Just go it.
Because Jake and I, we train like 10 months out of the year to go elk hunting.
Well, my wife is a morning person. I am not.
Yeah.
And I've been waking up with her at 4:45 for the last couple of months to go to the gym, and
Lies.
this sucks.
Lies.
No.
Lies.
No.
She said you quit.
No. I was there. I've been there every day for 3 weeks now.
No.
So what I tell people about New Zealand too, going there first time,
They with shoulders.
it is as hard a hunt as you want to make it.
Yeah, especially with
I mean,
You
say
can get
that
as
anything
deep
in between.
as you want. No.
Yeah, I mean, you can take the helicopter and they'll put you right on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
You hunt down and you're done within a couple
So
hours.
I saw two
I mean,
things.
my worry was, if I'm out there about to take that shot, I mean, you got orcs, you got the ring, you got all sorts of stuff causing trouble out there.
Damn golem.
So there was an episode of, you're familiar with who Brian Quacka is, the pig man. Mm-hmm. So I think it was his first, maybe his second season. He did a New Zealand episode, and he went in and apparently in certain places in New Zealand, there's wild bovine that are hyper aggressive.
Yes.
Hyper aggressive.
And they are huge.
And they're huge, and it's the type of thing, it's like polar bear. They see you, they're coming straight towards you, and they're going to try to kill you.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
And apparently there was a bunch of farms evacuated at some point 60, 70 years ago. They got loose.
For angry cows.
And these bulls are like, it's no joke to go hunt them. It's like going for a cape. It's huge. The other one is they do have wild pigs there, but one thing they have more of than you can find anywhere else, they have white pigs.
Have what?
Really?
White wild boars.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not know that. I just learned something.
Yeah, and he killed a stud, probably 275 pounds with 3 inches of cutters on both sides.
Yeah.
Like just beautiful, but bright white all the way through.
Interesting.
And when I saw that,
the biggest pig I've ever mounted came from New Zealand. It weighed right at 400 pounds.
That is a monster pig.
And he life
And that's what's crazy about it, because we have our St. Patrick's Day event. Everybody comes through here, kills 400-pound pig.
Right.
And it's always
Until they weigh it.
It's always fun when we actually start putting a scale
the reality
to them.
hits.
Yeah.
1 pound at a time.
We had, I'll never forget our first year. And he was a friend of the store. And he had got talked into by another gentleman to go hunt with him. And he rolled up first weight of the morning. And he's just grinning ear to ear. He's like, I won. I was like, you won? You already know you won? He's like, I had a 400 pounder.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I remember this.
Really?
About 275.
200.
Yeah.
So we weighed it.
Enough that he got mad, said our
and
scale was off.
He
Really?
lost his shit. He said, we waited at the house. It's a 400-pound pig. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. He said, somebody who's been a buddy for a long time. And we're like, and we know he's got this new friend that we went hunting with is just kind of whispering into his ear. And thank God, about 10 minutes later, a 300-pound pig came in.
Yeah.
And just
Dwarfed it.
Oh, yeah. And you're
Yeah.
like, that's a 300. He's like, that's a 500. And they're like, no, we do this all the time. It's 300 pounds.
But
And then he was, it was super embarrassed.
but speaking about
Speaking about,
kind of hunting all over the world, kind of circling
Well,
back around to Africa,
Yeah.
I hear you have a pretty good story about a gorilla.
Oh, we're going to dive into that now. Huh?
I was going to go with speaking about people who think one thing's another and it's not, but we were both on the same page.
Same page.
So this is our second episode with Frank.
I feel like Frank's going to be a recurring guest.
And the first one was all about taxidermy
Yeah.
and his business and what he does.
That's true.
This one we've been building up and talking about his experience. No bullshit.
Frank is a man of experience.
The only reason we've invited him on any of this is to hear this story coming up.
100%. This is
Because
the only
when
reason
he
why
told it to me, I almost peed on myself.
I like a lot of people for various reasons. This is the only reason why I like Frank.
Wow.
There's the
I see what it means to you
I
now.
put this up there with the Pancho Villa joke. And if you've never heard the Pancho Villa joke, we'll tell it on another episode.
Absolutely.
But this is probably
phenomenal.
But this isn't a joke. This shit actually happened.
This is real life.
This is real life. There's a person behind it. It is verifiable. It is true.
So imagine, if you will, just close your eyes.
Just close your eyes.
Unless you're driving, and then don't close your eyes.
Just one of them.
Yeah.
And then take
but
this
make sure
in.
it's your good eye.
I want you to take a second and build the scene in your mind and put yourself there.
And do not picture Frank here without a shirt, because that's
Right.
weird.
He's
But
not working.
picture the story he's about to
Just
say.
imagine. So if you're listening and not watching, just imagine a guy that works out a little bit but doesn't say no to a cookie. That's Frank.
Bam.
That's all of us, you son of a bitch.
That's exactly.
Anyway, I was trying to set
I've
the
got a
mood.
s'mores brownie in there
Why
that's calling
you
my
have to
name.
bring cookies into it?
Anyways.
All right.
So now
Frank,
that I had that epic build up and letdown.
So Frank, you told us a story once that was so funny that we have not been able to, and it's one that we can't replicate.
It's the top. It is the best.
It is the best damn story we've ever heard.
it has got to be the top hunting story I've heard in a long
and
time.
we just, I don't, we, this is
if
one
not
we can,
the number one.
We can't poke on you or pick on you or ask you questions. Nope. You just,
All right,
you
let's get. We've built it
just
up
let
enough.
it rip.
We built
Let
it up
rip.
enough.
All right. Frank, you got the floor, sir.
Thank you. So let's just say a friend. We'll just go with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine was taking a client on a guided whitetail hunt down in South Texas. And
As people do.
right. And he didn't know the guy a whole lot. They had kind of met that, they had a work experience for a little while, but they weren't, buddies or didn't hunt a whole lot together. And anyhow, him and the ranch owner dropped the man off in the box blind that morning. And, it's early morning, still dark, pitch dark. And he says, just sit here and, shoot this buck or whatever they talked about.
Which is always kind of the unnerving part of being somewhere new, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Just quiet.
And I'm guessing this guy's not an overly experienced hunter. This is
Not from what I took. No. I mean, I think he had done some Texas hunting. He probably shot some
even
pigs,
as
a couple
experienced
deer.
hunter, when they drop you off in the box blind, you didn't get to see it the day before and everything.
Yeah,
you don't know what's
that's
popping
weird.
up around
You have
It's
no
weird.
points of reference.
Right. Yeah. And this guy didn't. He arrived the night before and they had a couple libations and, one thing led to another. So they drop him off. They drive down the little Sendero, make the first corner. They're 2 minutes down the road. They hear boom, 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 3 gunshots real quick. They're like, what is he possibly shooting? It is not even begin to be daylight. So they turn around, go back, and the gentleman is walking down the road towards them.
It's still in the dark.
Yeah, still pitch dark.
Yeah.
He's carrying his rifle. He's obviously shook up, very, very nervous. And he says, take me to my truck. I'm going home. I'm out. I'm done. And they're like, what, what's going on? What's a problem?
Yeah. As a guide, you've got to be like, hey, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
We expect you to sit till daylight. Feeder goes off. Deer come out, shoot deer. Right?
Yeah. He's maybe 10 minutes into his hunt.
Yeah.
Not even close to
It
daylight.
was probably an hour before daylight. It's still just ink black in South Texas.
So the guy on the way back apparently starts kind of rehashing his morning. Apparently he was sitting there in the dark and he was playing on his phone, looking at an app, whatever he was doing. And kind of out of the corner of his eye, he saw some movement, and it was a large object, and it reached inside this blind and grabbed his phone. And as anyone would do, would freak out. He shot through the deer blind 3 times and hit what he said was, and I quote, Sasquatch. I killed Sasquatch.
So hold on, wait.
In South Texas, that'd be El Sasquatch.
It's pitch black.
Yep.
He's got his phone in the box blind, so it's a little illuminated.
Yep.
And everything else is dark because he's got a while.
Yeah.
I get that. You got to kill a little time. Check Facebook.
And you so a hand reached in? A paw?
He said it was a hairy arm, is what his exact words were. Hairy arm reached in through this box blind, through the window, and grabbed that phone out of his hand.
Took his phone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I would have unloaded everything possibly on me
too.
Through that blind.
Me too. I would still be shooting. Mm-hmm. So
shooting to this day.
He tells the guys when they get him back to his truck, and mind you,
did he get his phone back?
Later. he left it. Didn't care about it.
Damn right.
He
left it.
The hell with that phone.
So
gone.
he gets back. Yeah, he gets back to the house and he is telling them, I shot Sasquatch. Like, I killed Bigfoot. Like, guarantee it was Bigfoot. Killed him. I'm out. Done hunting. He gets in his truck, gone, back to Houston. Out.
Leaves his shit.
Done.
I don't need my back. I don't need
Nothing.
my clothes. I don't need my toothbrush.
He didn't even go to none of that. He left it at the ranch.
That is
gone.
That is shook up.
Yeah. So
that makes you question, like, did he tell the truth? Like that's
well, I'll be honest.
That makes it sound like he's telling the truth.
So the ranch owner and the buddy of mine that was, bringing this guy here, they kind of went to the worst and they thought, oh my gosh, he just shot an illegal.
Oh shit.
He just ended somebody's life.
Good thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't put
waited.
2 and 2 together on that one, but dang good thought.
Yeah.
Because I've hunted South Texas before.
Sure.
You get out there early enough, you go open the blind. There's a whole group of them inside your deer blind.
Absolutely.
I was married to a Hispanic lady, and they have very hairy arms.
So they let it get daylight, as you would, and they go back to the scene of the crime, and there's just blood everywhere on the outside of the blind, apparently.
So sure enough, shot through the blind, blood everywhere.
Yeah. His cell phone.
There is blood.
Yeah, the cell phone's laying there. The guy left, and they blood trail this thing, and it went, I don't know what he said, like 100 yards, I think, or something.
At that point, they're convinced it's a human.
Right. No, they were 100% convinced.
Yeah.
This dude just shot a person.
Yeah.
Because of apparently the blood trail was pretty high on the blind.
Oh yeah.
Like 5-6 foot.
Yeah.
And they're like,
and you can't, realistically, you can't blame the hunter in this situation. You freaked the.
Well, you could blame, you could blame the hunter in the situation if you wouldn't have seen what he'd seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
we're talking about this from now that we know what happened. But
yeah.
Dude, being in that moment.
Yeah, you can't.
That would have scarred you.
I can't. I'd be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be throwing shoes and everything.
So they blood trail this.
With chancla.
They blood trail this creature, let's just say. And it takes them a little bit, and they find it, and it is a silverback gorilla.
So it was a real silverback gorilla, right? Dude, I would. So I have had a lot of situations where I've been in the brush in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like
So they walk up.
so, I mean, but here's a real story, right? I've been in the middle of the brush in South Texas. I was sitting in a place when I was stationed in Zapata that I could hear people like laughing and giggling behind me. It'll freak you smooth the hell out.
The relief has to be as they walk up on it. It's not a person.
Yeah, it wasn't a person. I think that was the first thought.
And the second thing has to be there's an effing silverback gorilla in here dead in the middle of Texas.
But that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Do they get to keep it? 'Cause I earned that sumbitch.
Yeah, so the Ape Conservatory ended up showing up after they had a discussion with the game warden, apparently. And he
Ape Conservatory was
within
local?
It was apparently within 3 to 5 miles, is what I know. They don't know the exact
and
location.
they didn't tell anybody, hey.
No, none of that was said.
had a
None of
gorilla.
that was said.
Like, hey, we lost Coco.
Yeah. No, none of that was said apparently, but
Poor Coco just wanted a cell phone.
That's all he want. He's trying to call home.
yeah.
Oh.
But they came and got it. And
Nope.
apparently that dude has not hunted today. He still hasn't
Dude,
hunted.
I can
And
see that.
That
So-
happened in October, by the way.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
So, but
I would not hunt again until I get my damn silverback
no,
gorilla
Joe.
mount.
So, but
dude.
here's the thing: I am sure that y'all have got it at the shop there. How y'all? What's the mount? Is it selfie? Is it?
I wish I had it. I really wish I had
Is
it.
it reaching into a deer blind to get a cell phone? Like, what are y'all doing?
You know, I have no idea. I wish I had it. I'm sure they did a full autopsy on that thing.
But hold on. I got a for real question.
Okay.
If he's listening, which I apologize if he's listening, we're having a little fun at your expense. But could you recreate it for him, or do you have that skill set?
Yeah, we could.
There's your answer.
Yeah. No, we could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's I don't know. I mean, is it the answer? Like, are you going to have some just stuffed?
I had a silverback gorilla steal my cell phone in a deer blind. I am recreating that terroristic moment.
See, the problem with it is it's what this guy faces his entire life, right?
Yeah.
It's something we're not taking into consideration.
I really think he's got a little PTSD.
Right? It's not
he's got some
something-
PTSD.
They're going to tell him.
Yeah. So
It's like every person says they saw a cougar
Oh no,
or
I'm thinking
Sasquatch.
about every time an alien pulls you up and touches your butthole.
That dude left that
every time an
ranch
alien-
thinking he literally left that ranch thinking he shot a freaking
Alien
Bigfoot.
pulls you up in their spaceship and touches your butthole, and you go tell people about it.
Thank you.
Nobody.
And here's the thing. So I'm watching.
No, but if you had a stuffed alien with his finger going up a butthole,
then some
people
legitimacy.
are like, yeah,
So,
it was real.
So I'm there. We're segue to before we end here. There's a show on Netflix called Unexplained,
Oh yeah.
and I'm
There we
watching
go.
it with my daughter because she likes the weird stuff, right?
like TV.
Why is there nobody? We've got aliens, right? And they've traveled.
Oh, we just have them.
They've
Yeah.
traveled interstellar space to come to Earth. Why is it only white trash that's getting abducted? It's never like a Harvard scholar or anybody of color. It's the most inbred white trash in like Oklahoma, Florida, New Mexico. Like there's like 3 states they're abducting from, and that's it. I'm thinking the reason why we don't have contact is that's who they contacted first. They're like, nah, nope. We're going to bounce past this planet.
Could be. Or, hear me out. It could be meth.
That's true.
It could go either way.
Just either direction.
Guys, thank y'all so much for listening to this
It's
week's
been a
episode.
wonderful time.
We've had a lot
Thank
of fun.
y'all.
Frank, thank you for being a part of this.
Thank
man,
you.
putting up with
Thank
us.
you.
I hope we haven't scared you off. We hope to have you
No,
back at some point.
I can't wait.
Absolutely, man. This has been a blast. Guys, if you like the show for whatever reason, tell your friends about it.
Tell your mom and them.
Oh, like and subscribe. Just You can find us on the interwebs everywhere else. I don't know all the technical terms, but
Yeah,
we appreciate you for
You
listening.
got the Facebooks, the Instagrams,
Hey,
the Tickety Talks.
If
the
you're on your way
Twitters.
to work or have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it.
That-
This is why we do it.
God bless.
There
Don't
you
do
go.
meth.
No, don't
might
do
get
meth. Don't get
abducted
abducted.
or-
It's going to be all right.
Or
It might
shoot
be-
a silverback gorilla out of
Yeah.
us.
Watch
And-
out.
And hear me out. If you ever need it out because your wife's mad, she'd be like, "Baby, I'm sorry, but a silverback gorilla stole my cell phone. I couldn't call you."
Mama, I was walking to school. This silverback gorilla started punching me. She starts putting up wanted posters.
You know
If
why?
I don't get this reference,
you know why? You know why the alligator's so angry?
Because it's the Maduda. No, they got all the teeth in the can.
He had no toothbrush.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have
Bye,
a great
everybody.
week. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Circle Star Firearms and Outdoors podcast with your hosts Jake Cawthon and Jason Westmoreland. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. New episodes drop every Monday and catch up in between episodes on the Circle Star Minute every Friday. For more information, visit CircleStarFirearms.com, or better yet, come see our great new store at 6320 Highway 90 in Anderson, Texas. Until next time, safe shooting, folks.